The house always wins. Cold open. The text came through while I was reviewing quarterly reports. Thanks again for being so understanding. Your sister deserves this. Love you. Mom. Always Mom. I stared at the notification for my credit card company. $12,700, pending charges, cruise line, premium suite, excursions, spa packages. I didn't book a cruise. I called the number on the back of the card. Yes, Mr. Richardson, those charges were made yesterday evening using your card. Would you like to dispute them? No, I said. Thank you. I hung up. My hands didn't shake. They should have. Normal people's hands shake when their parents steal $13,000. Normal people call back, scream, demand answers. I just sat there, thinking. They'd been living in my house for 3 years, just until we get back on our feet, Dad had said. I'd bought the property as an investment, a starter home in a decent neighborhood. I'd planned to rent it. Then Dad lost his job. Mom's health insurance evaporated. My sister, Golden Precious Emma, was finding herself in her late 20s, which apparently required living at home and working part-time at a yoga studio. I never asked for rent. They never offered. I lived in my downtown condo, small, efficient, mine, while they sprawled across 3 bedrooms and a finished basement. And now this. Mom's follow-up text arrived an hour later. Emma's been so stressed. She needs this. It's not like you ever travel anyway. You'll make it back. The laughing emoji felt like a slap, but it was the truth in that statement that cut deepest. It's not like you ever travel anyway. Because I was always working, always covering their utilities, always saying yes when Emma needed her car repaired, when Dad needed a small loan, when Mom's medications weren't fully covered. I was the responsible one, the boring one, the one who would understand. I didn't call them. I didn't text back. I replied simply, "Enjoy your trip." Then I made a different call. "Marcus, it's David. I need you to list a property for me. Fast sale, as is. I'll take 10% under market if we can close in 2 weeks." Marcus was my real estate agent. We'd worked before. "Which property?" I gave him the address. "Wait, isn't that where your parents?" "It's my house, Marcus. I can sell my house." Silence on the line. "Okay, I'll draw up the paperwork." I spent the next week working normally, eating normally, sleeping normally. Inside, I was a surgeon preparing for a delicate operation. I reviewed the property deed, my name only. I'd never added them, never promised anything permanent. They were guests, long-term guests who'd mistaken my generosity for weakness. I packed their belongings myself, every photo, every piece of furniture they'd brought, everything. I rented a storage unit across town, climate-controlled, prepaid for 3 months. I even labeled the boxes: kitchen, master bedroom, Emma's room. Meticulous, kind even. The buyers were a young couple, first-time homeowners. They were delighted with the price. We closed in 13 days. Major reveal. They came home on a Tuesday. I was waiting. Not at the house. I wasn't cruel enough to make them discover it that way. I was at the coffee shop 2 blocks from the port. Mom texted first. "We're back. The trip was amazing. Emma met someone. I'll tell you all about it." I replied, "Meet me at Coastal Grounds, now." She must have heard something in that period at the end. They arrived 30 minutes later, tanned, relaxed. Emma's hair was braided with colorful beads. They sat down across from me. I slid an envelope across the table. "What is this?" Mom asked, still smiling. "Storage unit address. Code is written inside. All your belongings are there. Prepaid through May." Dad opened the envelope. His face drained. "What are you talking about?" "I sold the house." Silence. Emma's mouth fell open. You, what? I sold my house, the one I own, the one you were living in. It closed yesterday. Mom's hand flew to her chest. You can't, we live there. No, you lived there, past tense. Dad stood up. David, this is insane. You can't just kick us out. I didn't kick you out. I sold my property. There's a difference. Cold confrontation. The accusations came then. How could I? After everything they'd done for me, I was ungrateful, cruel, heartless. I let them finish. Then I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and showed them the credit card statement. $12,700, I said quietly. You used my card without asking. Mom laughed about it, said I'd make it back. We were going to pay you back, Mom started. When? She had no answer. I gave you 3 years, free housing, utilities. I never asked for a single dollar. And the moment you thought I wouldn't notice, you stole from me. We didn't steal. You used my credit card without permission. That's fraud, Mom. I could have called the police. I called a real estate agent instead. Emma was crying now. Where are we supposed to go? I stood. I don't know, but you had $13,000 for a cruise. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Closure. I paid off the credit card that afternoon. I never changed my number, but I never answered their calls. They left voicemails, dozens of them, angry ones, desperate ones, Dad's voice cracking, Emma's sobbing, Mom's barely coherent rage. I listened to none of them. 3 months later, I got a text from Emma. We're staying with Aunt Marie. I hope you're happy. I didn't respond. But I was. Not happy exactly, something colder than that, something final. I'd learned something valuable on that cruise I never took. Some people only understand the language of consequences, and I had become fluent.